So in this module, we went through and took a look at what was the purpose of doing the DoS and DDoS as far as a pen test is concerned. We're looking for servers that are vulnerable to these types of attacks. We're trying to identify at least a minimum thresholds. Again, I can't guarantee that that will always be the case, but at least we've got some type of guideline here for them, or making sure that there are solutions that they may or may not have in place that are designed to protect them from these attacks are actually working correctly. We'll also want to make sure that we are verifying the system's strength. And we also talked about that we're going to want to review, or we use this to review, the security controls that are in place already. Then we talked about the different steps that we go through. As far as we need to make sure that we have an outline objective, what we're going to do, which machines we're allowed to do it to. Again, some customers may not want you to hit their main up server that's, taking sales orders for them all the time because it's a source of revenue. Now, there's a argument that you can make both ways because it's probably going to be the main target that an attacker is going to go after. But I would want to hit it a little bit so I could kind of get an idea of what was going to happen or what would be a worst case scenario. We'd also go through and try to load up the server, as well as we would then look for vulnerabilities on that box as well. Sometimes just running those vulnerability scans will help me to determine if the box, without doing a load on it, can help me to determine if the box is going to be vulnerable. One of the things that we could do as well is to do a SYN attack on that server. Again, remember, that's flooding the server with tons of SYN packets to the point that it slows way down, and you're all thinking about that little turtle again, aren't you? Then we talked about flooding the ports, which is not a good thing to do on a ship. Thank you, thank you. Don't forget to tip your server. Remember, that's actually where we go through and flood specific ports that may be supporting applications to see if we can get the application to respond or not to respond. We also took a look at doing an email bombing attack against the box or against the mail server box. And again, remember, there's 3 different methods that you could use there. And then we also talked about flooding the web forms, overloading those online forms that everybody tries to use, or they all not try, that they are using, whether it's a guest book login form or a, hey, I'd like to receive more information form. I'm going to hit that bad boy quite heavily, see if I can overload it. And then, of course, we all talked about documentation deal. That's right. I'm not going to say any more. Instead, I want you to start thinking about session hijacking in a pen test, because that's what we're going to talk about next.